How you doing, guys? Welcome back to Hallow's Riddle, and we are here and we're talking about Bruce Lee. Now, to me, Bruce Lee is definitely the greatest martial artist that ever lived in the 60s, definitely the early 70s, before his untimely death in 1973, July the 20th. So that makes, that's probably almost 50 years this coming year now, because we're in the year now 2023, and basically the guy's been dead longer than he's been alive, and no one's ever come close to beat Bruce Lee in mixed martial arts, because Bruce Lee created that back in the early 70s with his own method of kung fu. The way of the intercepting fist is what you would say. And obviously what you can see here is Enter the Dragon, and this is probably the greatest martial arts movie ever made. And the thing is about Bruce Lee is that it's not just his martial arts, it's basically the life that he lived. All the obstacles that he took in his life to become successful and to prove to himself and to basically the whole world that he had what it takes to be the greatest martial artist. And this guy opened doors for people like Jean-Claude Van Damme, Jet Li, Jackie Chan even, and Steven Seagal, and basically the old ones as well, back in the 80s, 90s, and maybe now. And this guy did it. Like I said, this is basically the original poster of Enter the Dragon, guys. Now check this out. How cool does this poster look? And I believe this was originally in 1973 on its release. I believe was in August. Obviously, Bruce died in July 73, and I think they waited at least a month or two. And obviously it was such a shame for Bruce Lee not to even see his own final film that he helped create. And the guy is literally a pure master of martial arts. I mean, I don't think anybody has ever come close to the speed, the power, the timing, and the guy had only weighed at least 140 pounds. And the muscle mass that he had and that he created himself was just phenomenal. I mean, you can see these beautiful pictures from the movie right there with I think that's I can't remember his name. Is it Shere Khan? I can't remember his name. And basically the real guy, his real name is Bob Wall, and he recently passed away, I think just last year. And such a sad loss. But we have a lot of famous people here, like Jim Kelly right there. He died back in 2013, and we lost John Saxon, which is right there. So that's Jim Kelly right there. He was awesome in it. To me, he was like another Muhammad Ali, and I think he wanted to kind of play it like that, dead cool, dead slick, just didn't care, he was just in for the kill. John Saxon right there, he was fantastic. I didn't know that John Saxon was a martial artist in the 70s or even the 60s, because the first movie I saw him in was A Nightmare on Elm Street, who played the father of Heather Langenkamp, the real name. Absolutely fantastic actor. And you go at Anna Capri, and you could probably scope out Anna Capri on YouTube. She did a behind the scenes of Enter the Dragon, and she filmed quite a lot. I think she filmed about at least half an hour of behind the scenes footage of Enter the Dragon, which was absolutely awesome of her. And obviously over here we have the man, Bruce Lee, and Enter the Dragon. Absolutely beautiful looking poster right there, guys. And of course, if we just move along over here, this was basically off a Blu-ray set. Now these are little posters, little picture frames that you could collect in this. And this is the Blu-ray edition. There you go, Blu-ray edition right there. Bruce Lee Enter the Dragon, and it was like an anniversary. And you get all kinds of special features on this. Limited edition collector's set includes Blu-ray feature film, sewn I can't even say that word, embroidered patch, 4 art cards, which are these. Absolutely beautiful cards. I mean, if you look at Bruce Lee's body right there, I mean, you could tell he's properly ripped. Absolutely brilliant. There's John Saxon right there, kicking the shit out of clearly a bad guy. There's Jim Kelly. It's not the greatest picture of Jim Kelly, just hanging right there, dead. And there is Bruce Lee himself. Absolutely phenomenal guy. And if you look up here, of a little pop vinyl of Enter the Dragon Bruce Lee. How awesome is that? Turn him around there, look, it's really cool. And it's really good this because obviously, as soon as you see these little scars right here, I mean that's just awesome, you just know that it's Enter the Dragon, because that's what he has. He ends up having scars near the final film. And these are little items I collected on eBay just a couple of years back. You can stand them up. It's really, really cool. That's absolutely... And the face features as well is actually really good. I believe that is actually off the Big Boss because of his suit, like what he's wearing, you know, the clothing. This one over here is Game of Death, unfinished film. But then they finished the movie in 1978, but it was basically... people weren't happy with it. It's kind of a flop. Good try, I thought, but what they were doing to the film, it just didn't make any sense. Like putting little pictures of Bruce Lee's face on the movie, it just didn't add up. You know, really didn't add up. And obviously here, that's what I'm talking about. From the pop vinyl to the scars to Enter the Dragon, proper Bruce Lee with his scar on his face, scratches and stuff, looking absolutely fantastic, absolutely brilliant. And this is a booklet. This is brilliant. I mean, you've got all kinds of pictures. Like that's like in the middle of the book. This is what it actually looks like, which is a bit like the actual DVD cover. And this is the booklet. There's Bruce Lee there kicking shit. That's someone that's bad guy. If you open it up there, look, you got a couple of pictures here. Now that fight right there, that is right at the beginning of the movie, and I believe Bruce wanted a real fight. I can't really remember his name, but he ended up having a career himself. I think he ended up starring in his own TV program years and years ago, and he was actually really good. And he really did respect Bruce Lee, no doubt. Just like these two over here, like everyone really respected Bruce because they knew that he was the man, basically. Like he just had the speed, time, and quality of a martial artist. And Bruce wanted a real one-to-one fight. So when you watch that scene at the beginning, Bruce is really kicking the shit out of this guy over here. You know what I mean? It's no fakeness, and the power that you watch him do just for that fight scene, and it only goes on for a couple of minutes, is absolutely amazing. There we go. Just turn it around here. There's Bob Wall at the top right there. Never take your eyes off your opponent, which is what he says in the movie. Jim Kelly down here. Bruce Lee kicking the shit out of the main guy. And if you turn it around, open it up again. Don't think, feel, is what he says again. And this is the main bad guy. That's the knives that he wears to slice Bruce Lee's face up and all kinds of stuff. Absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, so these are the rest of the pictures in this book. It's absolutely amazing. A good martial artist doesn't become tense, but ready. Absolutely brilliant. There is no point that you will not go beyond. Absolute fantastic. I used to love this move right there. That is gorgeous move. Fantastic. I don't even know what that's called, that move. Maybe you want to leave in the comments what kind of move that is. It's like he just grabs his foot, as you can see, and then just kind of spin kicks right round and just basically hits him right in the face, and he just goes flying back. Absolutely amazing. There we go. Let's go to the next area. There we go. Behind the scenes right here. That's what we've just seen. Absolutely beautiful pictures. Bruce Lee. That is Jackie Chan right there, guys. A couple of early scenes of Jackie Chan getting whooped by Bruce Lee, and he was talking about Bruce Lee, saying how what a great guy he was, how nice he was behind the scenes and looking after the staff, looking after the stuntmen and everything. Because Bruce understood the behind the scenes of it. I mean, you got to remember, before Enter the Dragon, he started his own movie called Way of the Dragon, which I'll show you in a minute. And that was his baby, really. That was, I mean, Linda Lee Cadwell did say that that's mainly Bruce Lee. Like when you see him acting, he's actually not acting in The Way of the Dragon because that's just the way he was. Really soft guy, really nice. But obviously, you know, he could look after himself and what have you. Obviously, if you watch Way of the Dragon, then you're gonna know what I mean. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. There we go. Open it up again if I can. Behind the scenes again. Actually, it's not really behind the scenes. This is actually in the movie. It is not the art, but the combat that you enjoy. Absolutely brilliant. There's John Saxon right there. And it's a shame because we lost John Saxon just not long ago. I think it was about 80 odd. Natural causes, I believe. There we go. Beautiful pictures. When it comes, I won't even notice. I'll be too busy looking good. Absolute brilliant. So cool, this guy. And there we go. More pictures here. I have a funny feeling we're being fat enough to be killed. Brilliant. There's Anna Capri right there. and I think she passed away too. You know, there's not many people now who are alive, which is a shame, because you got to remember it's like 50 years ago now, since the making of the movie. These are like near the end. That is actually at the end, I believe. Yeah, that is the end of the movie. This is some of the fight sequences here right here. And this is behind the scenes. There we go. This is behind the scenes, guys. Look, Bruce Lee right there down here with John Saxon. I believe that was the director right there. And you see Bruce Lee and John Saxon having a chat about what we should do and what kind of ideas we have. Oh, if you go to the top right there, Bruce Lee training up. Or Jim Kelly. Really, really cool. You can find all these kind of pictures even on YouTube if you click on that, you know. But this book is just brilliant. There we go. That's the end of it. That's what it looks like. Basically same as the front cover. And this is what it came out of. That's what it come out of. All these, even the poster that came through this. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Look at that. As far as I can remember, I've always been into Bruce Lee, all the way back from the early 1990s. And I remember telling this story once before, but I remember coming home from my primary school. I was only 8 maybe 7 or 8, and my father were watching a Bruce Lee movie, and I believe that was Fist of Fury, guys. And I just saw this human specimen just flying everywhere, just like these bodies were just flying everywhere, and he was just there. He was knocking the fuck out of them all. It was absolutely amazing to see, and I was always a lover of Jean-Claude Van Damme at the time. And, you know, I never even heard of Bruce Lee at the time. And then once I saw that for Fist of Fury the first time, that's when I got hooked. That's when I knew that obviously I found the greatest martial artist I ever lived. And obviously it was Bruce Lee. And then I started looking into the background when I was much older. I started buying the books and stuff. And I ended up collecting a lot of things. Like I even had Bruce Lee tops and things like that. Oh yeah, I had it all, guys. I mean, I like I say as well, I mean, to be a big fan like that for well over 20 years of my life is always in my mind, because I use Bruce Lee as like a force, you know what I mean, like in my mind. Like if I need to make obstacles myself to jump over fences and try and do well in my own life, I use Bruce Lee. It might not be anything to do with martial arts, but you know, to me he's like the way of life, you know, and the man had it tough. And I'm not saying that no one else had it tough, but for a young Chinaman at the time, the 60s, it's quite hard to get by, you know. Times were different back then, and you know, it's obviously now it's more accepting. That's why he opened doors with people like Jackie Chan and Jet Li, and there's other martial artists out there, not just martial artists, but other Chinamen and all, even Americans, because now Bruce is bridged the gap between East and West through his movies and through showmanship and through his own stunts, what he can do, and obviously his own martial arts that he created. And you know, you can't really go wrong with that. I mean, it's just, for a man that was aged 32 years old, I mean, I'm 38 now, and I'd say I've accomplished a lot in life. I mean, I've got a partner, I've got a house, I've got a job, that's good enough for me. But Bruce had more than that, you know, but he had the magic. He had the magic to do that kind of thing. It was amazing. Absolutely incredible. And such power and philosophy that he created in his own mind, and the book that he did, which is Kung Fu, which I believe was in the late 60s that he released. Absolutely phenomenal. Okay, so right here, Bruce Lee, The Master Collection, The Big Boss, Fist of Fury, The Way of the Dragon, Game of Death, and Enter the Dragon. Now, I'm going to be honest, Enter the Dragon should have been after Way of the Dragon, because Game of Death was the last one, obviously now that it never completed. It's obviously no biggie to, obviously, myself, and basically it's just to throw it out there, but people do get a little bit confused when I even talk about his movies, like, but it's no big deal, like, end of the day, if you're a big fan of Bruce Lee, well then, it doesn't really matter, you know. There you go. So this is what I'm talking about, guys. This is another collection that I have. That's a beautiful picture of Bruce Lee right there. Enter the Dragon right there again. This was his unfinished film, and I think that this film here, if he did finish this, apparently it was something to do with, it was going to be a mafia movie, which they did kind of take it like that. And obviously when you watch the movie, it's like in a big audience, and it's got each level of each floor of different styles of martial artists. And right at the top, Bruce Lee decided that he just wanted no style, which that was basically his send-off for his own martial arts. Having a way of style is no style. That's what he was saying. So you can create anything that you put your mind to. And Bruce Lee was a fanatic at that. That's what he was really good at. That's what he was trying to get at. And even behind the scenes, he was teaching people like Steve McQueen and James Coburn and other famous people. Like, oh yeah, he taught them a lot, and he obviously used to charge them. And it was basically just like what he said in an interview once, is that it wasn't just to do somebody in just to train them, or just go out there and start a fight, but maybe make a way through some movement, like be it anger, be it determination, and whatsoever. Literally, that was his words, what he said. And you know, totally right. The guy knew his stuff, and there's loads and loads of documentaries of him which I've seen, loads and loads of stories, even stories I can tell you. But basically, this is the full collection of what I have of Bruce Lee. And I used to own a couple of Bruce Lee t-shirts as well. Like, I used to have a couple of them, like, through the years. But through moving and things like that, obviously they've just got lost. But I'm really gutted about that, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, this is my collection. I've got a little bit more, but I thought this will probably do. So don't forget, guys, leave in the comment section if you were a major, massive Bruce Lee fan. And I certainly am, as you can see. And yeah, I think the man is just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I really look up to him. But let me know in the comment section who you look up to. I mean, it doesn't have to be Bruce Lee. It could be anyone. It could be Michael Jackson, or anyone that inspires you. Maybe even John Lennon, or, you know, JFK, or Marilyn Monroe, or anybody that is been famous of the 20th century, or even now, the 21st century. Who knows? But Bruce Lee, to me, is the man, the myth, and the legend. And I do own a lot of documentaries myself as well. I've not collected one for years, but I know everything that there is to know about Bruce Lee. I mean, nothing, like when they're coming out with all these different stories now, I already know it. You know, I already know, because I've learned that much about him. And you know, like Bob Wall, before he passed away, he made an interview just a couple of years ago, and he was talking about Bruce Lee. Like, he was talking about his own life, and then how he met Bruce Lee, and he was saying like how incredible he was, and he lost a friend and stuff, and then he kept up his legacy as well, just like Shannon Lee. I mean, I do own the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Now, guys, I'm not going to lie to you, I hate the scene that they put in with Bruce Lee, because it just wasn't his true self. That was not Bruce Lee when you watch it. It doesn't make any sense as to why they put that in. But, you know, it doesn't really matter in that sense, because at the end of the day, it's what the director thought would have happened. And you can't really argue with someone like Tarantino, because he just makes his mind up and then he does it, which is fine. You know, at the end of the day, he's the boss, he's the director. But if you've never watched that film, I mean, watch the film, it's just fantastic. Like, that's a big shout out to Tarantino, man. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Tarantino. But, you know, there is a scene in there that I fucking hate. It just doesn't make any sense, and there's no way Bruce Lee would have acted like that. But that's just the way it is. That's just Hollywood for you, let's say, to get the rise out of people like me or whoever else. But yeah, but I still won't dish the movie. The movie itself is really good. Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, go and scope it out, guys. Absolutely amazing film. So yeah, you know, I'm not just obviously a big fan of Enter the Dragon. I'm a big fan of obviously his other things. You know, Fist of Fury right there. The Big Boss was his first one. And Way of the Dragon is one of my favourite. Now, he filmed Way of the Dragon in Rome, guys. He filmed it in Rome. And me and my partner went to Rome in 2018. And I basically only wanted to go there because that's where Bruce Lee went. And unfortunately, obviously, fortunately, he could film in the Colosseum, and that's where me and my partner went, and it was amazing, guys. I love a bit of history, and that Colosseum was huge. It was massive. It was amazing. And I was stood, and I was holding the gate, knowing that's where Bruce Lee was stood, holding the gate in this film as well. And you might know what I'm talking about when he's in the Colosseum. If you've never seen this film, guys, scope it out. It's amazing. Probably one of the best fight scenes in Celluloid, this. Really, really good. And that's Chuck Norris right there. Bruce Lee opened doors for Chuck Norris for the future of his own movies. Chuck Norris is awesome. And he was really good in this film. And yeah, so we went to Rome and we saw a lot of things where Bruce Lee even went. I even sat on the same benches where Bruce Lee was, where he was sat. It was amazing. Just right near a waterfall. Beautiful place. As you know, Enter the Dragon was his final movie that he starred in. Proper first, well, completed movie. And it was a shame that he never went to see his final movie, really. He would have been so happy with that. And he worked so hard. And obviously he went on from this to Game of Death. He basically filmed most of the fight scenes for the end of the movie, but still absolutely amazing. The Big Boss. I loved the storyline to The Big Boss, to be honest with you. It was different. And this was the only movie, Big Boss, that knocked off a chart of another movie. What was it called? I'm trying to think what it was called. Someone famous in it. And it knocked it off the charts. I think it was a musical movie. So leave in the comment section if I'm getting that right, or you can leave in the comment section to find out. Like, you tell me what movie that was. I can't remember what it is, but yeah, this is the one that knocked it off the charts, and Bruce Lee basically became known. Probably already overnight, he was a sensation of the greatest martial artist that ever lived, and then he obviously went on to make Fist of Fury, which was another awesome movie about revenge of a teacher. That basically, spoiler alert, but basically his teacher at the beginning dies for poison, and obviously they try and prove it like that, and Bruce Lee, you know, he's trying to solve the puzzle as to why they want to kill his teacher, and he goes out for revenge, basically, which is an awesome story. So there you go, absolute excellent. That was basically like, you know, behind him. Look, there you go, Game of Death. Couple of pictures right there. Absolutely awesome. So thank you very much for watching, guys. This is Hallows Riddle. Don't forget, smash those like buttons, guys. Smash those like buttons like you've never smashed them before. And I'm going to leave it right here. And I want to say thank you very much for enjoying my PlayStation 2 retro video, and the one before that, which was VHS retro videos of the horror, and Michael Jackson on there as well, with Nightmare on Elm Street, Robert Englund. And the recent one I did was the Blu-ray of horror. And that was just a couple of horror movies that I've got on Blu-ray, but you know, it needs most for timing. But yeah, so I'm really, really happy that you enjoyed them, guys, and I really, really hope that you enjoy this as well if you're a big fan. I mean, I'm gonna lie, I mean, I really want 100. Yeah, I mean, I wish I could get 100 likes for this video. I mean, damn right. I mean, this is Bruce Lee. This is Bruce Lee. You can't go wrong with Bruce Lee. He's absolutely incredible. Absolutely amazing guy. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Take it easy. Have a good one. Thank you.